Hello and welcome back to Columbus for our coverage of Origins 2017. I'm here with Nick from Indie Boards and Cards, and we've got two games to talk about. The first of which has really cool illustrations that we were chatting about before we started. It's called Trickster, Champions of Time. What do we do?
So Trickster is it's a trick-taking game.
Okay.
Designed by Daniel Solis, who also designed Kodama, Ball the Ball, several other games I'm sure you've heard of and or played. And the difference in this being a trick-taking game, one of the big hooks is that every time you play the game, you can play with a different combination of cards. So basically, the game comes with 14 different character cards, and the character cards exist in 8 suits. Okay. So the game comes with 112 cards. All right. So you'll pick 7 of those 14 cards to make the deck and shuffle them up. So everyone's going to be dealt a certain amount of cards based on player count, and then you're going to start the trick with the leader. So it's a different kind of trick-taking game because the rules for the trick change based on what the trickster does. So normally the leader kind of dictates the rules. You know, like when you're playing a trick-taking game, the leader kind of makes you follow suit. Yeah. So what happens in Trickster is the leader will play a card, and whenever you play a card, you activate its ability that's shown on the bottom here.
It's right here.
Right? And then the trickster gets to decide the rules for the trick. So the trickster will either play a card that matches the character, matches the suit, or matches neither.
Okay.
So when you play a card, you could play this purple card, and now everyone would have to play purple cards.
All right.
If they can. You could play this soldier card, because these are both soldiers, so everyone would have to play soldiers if they can.
Right.
Or, you know, you could play one that is neither.
Okay.
In which case, everyone would have to play cards that don't match what's already in the pot.
All right.
And then everybody has to activate their ability when they play it.
Okay.
If you can't follow suit, you bust, and you take all the cards and put them in front of you in your tableau.
Okay.
And you're going to score these later, and you don't want points. So the concept is that you're a trickster, we're all trickster gods, and we're manipulating all these heroes from different universes, that's what the suits represent.
Okay.
And you're trying to be the person that gets least caught, I guess, have the least amount of trouble points.
Right.
So you're just trying to make it through with the least amount of heroes that have caught on to you.
Okay.
At the end of a hand, the player who has the most cards of each suit is going to discard those cards. You're not going to score those. Okay. So there's a little bit of the shoot the moon aspect to it. Yeah, if you get stuck. And all the cards the abilities typically let you manipulate the cards in your hand, the cards in your tableau, exchange cards from the discard pile, exchange cards with other people. So there's a lot of opportunities to kind of gain majorities in certain areas with the effects that you have. So it's kind of it's a very simple game to play because really you're just playing a card and resolving like a sentence of text. It's not hard. Okay. And then you're just matching suits and heroes. But it's got kind of a lot of layers to it as you try to manipulate the way that things, because the hand ends as soon as somebody runs out of cards and everybody else puts their cards into their tableau. So you could look like you don't have a lot of yellows, like you only have 1 and somebody else has 3, and you have 3 yellows in your hand and you flop them down. Now all of a sudden you're not scoring anything and they're scoring 3 points.
Yellows. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's played over 3 hands. Each hand takes about 10 minutes to play.
Okay.
You play with the same deck, all the 3 hands, so typically in the first hand you're kind of feeling out what the different combos are and how they interact together. And in the second or third hand you're like, oh yeah, that's really neat, I figured this out, etc. And a lot of the cards have a really interesting interplay.
Very cool. I love the illustrations on these. There's, I don't know if the girl's out here, but there's a girl holding a teddy bear on the side of the box.
Yeah, I think she's still in the box.
Like a magic girl, and you know, just really neat looking heroes. There's some lady with a screwdriver. What's she going to do with a screwdriver? I don't know.
I think she's taking off her handcuffs. She's a sketchy one.
Well, all right then. Trickster, Champions of Time, how soon can we get this one?
This will be out in a month. It'll be here at the con, and it'll be out in retail in a month.
Very cool. Now next, we have a slightly larger game.
Yes.
Called Delve.
So this is Delve. Oh, I didn't realize we were... Delve is a game that's designed by Richard Launius and Pete Sherry. And we did a lot of development on this one, and what you come to expect from Launius is kind of a really immersive experience.
So we have a whole bunch of tiles.
You have a whole bunch of tiles. You're going to be building out a dungeon.
All right.
Okay. So it's kind of like Carcassonne in that you're going to be adding these tiles to the dungeon, and when you add them, you're going to have a hand of 3 tiles, and they're going to be hidden to the other people. And when it comes around to you, you're going to place one of these tiles on the dungeon. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your delvers. So everybody in this game plays a different race of characters. So you could be a kobold or a sellsword or a wraith. or forest folk, so elves. So everybody has a similar set of delvers. So everybody has 5 delvers. 4 of them are the same, and then everybody has a duplicate of one of the 4 delvers, but it's different. So I'll have 2 thieves, and you'll have 2 leaders, basically.
All right.
So when you place a tile, you're going to put a guy down on it, face down. And then I'll take my turn, I'll place a tile, I'll place a guy on it, etc. We'll go back and forth. Just like in Carcassonne, when an area closes, so now you can't add any more to this room, you're going to resolve the room. Okay. But unlike Carcassonne, we're delving in a dungeon, so we're going to fight over the spoils that are in the room.
All right.
So if I was in the same room with you, we would roll these dice based on the delvers that we have in the room. So you have a leader, you'd roll a purple and a red.
And these were placed secretly. You had them face down when we went in. Okay.
And I would roll a brute if I was in the same room as you. So I would roll 3 white dice, and you would roll these 2, and we would mark it on this track. We have little cubes, so you'd keep track of on this track. And then the winner would receive half of the gold bags in the room. So there are 4 gold bags here, and then there are little gold bag cards. The gold bag cards range from 1 to 3 points, and you're just trying to collect the most amount of points.
Okay.
There are, more of the 1s than there are the 2s and 3s, etc. But yeah, so here are the gold cards. There's lots of little.
So if I won, I'd get. There's 4 bags in here. I'd get 2 cards.
You get 2 cards
face down. What does second place get?
Half of the remaining.
Gotcha.
So I would only get 1, and then the remaining would just be stranded. There are also treasure chest icons, like on this one. So if you close a room with a treasure chest icon, the winner gets all the treasure chests. So the second place doesn't get any. The treasure chests are worth points, just like the other ones, but also a lot of them have abilities when you collect them. So some of them will give you experience points. Experience is a resource that you can use to kind of break some of the rules in the game or get an advantage in combat.
Okay.
Every different faction in the game has an ability they can use an experience for that's unique to them. So that's what happens if you are in a room with multiple players. Right. So in that room that we just looked at, you're in the room by yourself. And in that case, there's nobody to fight you over the loot, so you have an encounter. So we're going to draw one of these encounter cards, if I can open the package.
These custom dice are neat. This is what they're going to look like?
This is a production copy.
Okay. So we must be close on this.
It is on its way. It has the same delivery date as Trickster. It's going to be out in a month.
All right.
So, yeah, they're big, chunky custom dice, and there are a lot of them. Well.
So we'd be having an encounter. What sorts of things would we find in
let's just read the back one.
Yeah, let's read the back one.
The one that I can access.
Let's do that one.
Okay, so this one says, so what's going to happen in the encounter is you're going to read a narrative paragraph that's going to tell you what's going on. And then I'm going to read you 2 options, and I'm going to read you the titles of the options, but I'm not going to tell you what the results of the options are. Okay, so it says a crazed goblin wielding 2 slagsmith daggers pounces from the shadows. Lose the loot or lose your guts. So your options are, do you lose the loot or do you fight the goblin?
Well, I fight the goblin for sure.
Right. So then the card, whenever it says fight, that means you're going to have to battle something. So you're going to roll dice for sure. It shows you that the goblin rolls 2 purple dice. You would roll whatever dice on the guy that you have in the room is.
Okay.
So in the case of your leader, you'd have a red and a purple one. The dice are all weighted differently, but the white ones are the worst one. These are better at collecting treasure. These are better at attacking.
Okay.
And then it has a result here that says, if you succeed, collect 1 additional gold card. So if you beat him in battle, you would get all of the treasure in the room.
Plus 1 more.
Plus 1 more in this case.
And if I failed?
If you failed, you would get half the treasure in the room. Okay. And if there was a fail result, you would also get some sort of penalty for the fail result.
Excellent. So you said this is coming at the end of the month?
End of July.
End of
July.
About
a month from now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's called Delve. Let's grab the box there so we can show that off, because I think that's been off camera. Delve, ta-da, which is coming at the end of July from Richard Launius and Pete Shirey.
Yeah, it's a good game. There's a lot of stuff in this box. It's jam-packed, and it's $40. It plays in about an hour. It plays 2 to 4. It's a really funny experience. The encounters they're kind of, not really slapsticky, but they're kind of tongue-in-cheek for the most part. There's one encounter where you fight 3 barbarians all named Ragnar, and their war chant is to yell Ragnar at you and run toward you. So
excellent. So if people are looking for info on Delve or Trickster, where should they go?
BGG. You can check out their BGG links. There's all kinds of stuff in there for them.
Perfect. Nick, thank you very much for spending some time with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching.
All right, hey guys, thanks so much for all the questions. We are here with Nick at the Q&A table, and we're going to run through
the after party.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah. The afterglow. Yeah. So basically, first I'm just going to go down the list here, so it's right here in case if you see anything you don't want me to ask, you just go or something like that.
I'm going to take them all.
All right, cool. All right, so what's the best player count for Trickster?
I think 4+. 2 and 3 are my favorite. It's a trick-taking game. You want more people.
Yeah.
7 might be a little slow, but 4 to 6 is great.
Okay. All right. 4 to 6 great. Is the sweet spot. All right. Cool. Do you have any expansions planned for Trickster?
You'd have to ask the designer that one. We don't, or for Trickster. I'm sorry. Yeah, Trickster. Yeah, we have other content for it. Okay. We actually have a little expansion pack. And it might come out. It kind of depends on the popularity of the game. It's one of those. If we sell out real quick,
we'll see what happens.
Pump some expansions in it.
Okay.
We have the content for it.
Cool. What about any future expansions for the Resistance?
That's the one I was speaking ahead on.
Okay.
You'd have to act as a designer on that one. We don't have anything currently in the pipeline.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing. All right. Any news for Path of Light and Shadow?
Yeah, I just got some of the samples back for the models and the dice. The dice look awesome. The gold paint on the black chunky dice looks amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, and all the models look good. So we actually just uploaded all the print files on Monday. So we're in really good shape to get this thing for Essen.
All right, cool, for Essen.
Yep.
Did Beth Sobel do the artwork for Trickster?
She did indeed.
She did?
Good eye.
There you go, good eyes. When can backers for Delve expect to get their copies?
I would say the next 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3
So
weeks.
It should be arriving to Amazon in the next week or so, I believe. So yeah, I would say by the end of the month.
Okay. All right, cool. Are we going to see any more for the Grifters?
There is some stuff in the works planned for Grifters.
Okay.
Yep.
Any more
info than that? I think you'll see it come out next year. A Kickstarter campaign for it would probably be next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything new for Dragon Slayer?
We don't have anything planned new for Dragon Slayer.
Okay. Cool. And what about Aeon's End War Eternal? Any updates for that?
I just signed off on all of the proofs for that. They are printing some of it now, and they're going to start printing the rest of it in the next couple of days.
Okay.
So I think we are technically about a week behind on that, but we'll still be delivering in the ballpark of Gen Con.
Okay. And then I think the last one we have here is, will Snowdonia get reprinted?
I would say probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
All right. Sorry.
Nothing for sure, but
let me just do a quick scan back up, and just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Let's see. Well, I don't understand this question. Maybe you do.
Sure.
Will there ever be any hope to have the original Nemesis have the update treatment that the rest of Aeon's End received?
I would say that's pretty unlikely. I mean, we like the idea. We're fully behind the idea that each Nemesis kind of comes with its own block of history, and that's what shapes the way that the mats look.
All right.
So I would say the next Aeon's End expansion, the mats will probably look different because it'll be another time frame.
Here's a slightly interesting question.
Sure.
When I don't know, that's presumptive, but a big board game, is that in the possibility? And I guess big is subjective.
I think Path of Light and Shadow is a big game.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is. That's a big game, right?
$80+ price tag.
There's a lot of stuff in the box too.
There's like 100 plastic bits or more.
Right.
And 300 cards.
Yeah,
and
so I guess
20 board.
I guess that would be the answer to that question.
It's the biggest thing that we've done.
Right.
Like Aeon's End was the biggest thing before that. It's all cards, it's a deck builder, but I mean it's still a big kind of pricey game at $50 with tons of expansions.
True. So I guess to
Path for sure.
To curve that, I guess, is that going to be the biggest, or are you going to try to look bigger even after that? Or are you going to maybe try to find a comfort spot? I
would say we're open to looking at all kinds of games,
right?
But we definitely know that small box is the sweet stuff. Everybody knows indie boards and cards for Coup, Resistance.
Right.
Flashpoint's a little bigger, but still just as accessible as those games.
Right.
So for us to jump in and do something as big as Path of Light and Shadow with the complexity and component count, that was definitely something new for us. But we spent tons of time developing that game. That game is totally done. It's a great game. But I would say we don't really have anything in the pipeline that's that big, but I'm going to be meeting with tons of people over the next couple of months. So
cool. All right. Let's see. One last. Yep. That looks like it's about it.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for your questions. We appreciate it. We're going to head it back over to Robert Geislinger in just a few moments. Thanks so much, Nick.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming by. See you guys later.